speak. Rafik was not able to find a proper sponsorship, and yet he wanted to prove to his father that he could sustain a professional life in gaming. For a player who really struggled with attaining sponsorship, he did exceptionally well.
Lost Cause, I think, is an amazing player. He was an underdog. He only, recently came into the spotlight.
This past year, he's gotten some really high placements.
Lost Cause coming from the lower bracket finals. This guy has been on fire as well.
In June of 2006, Rafik placed second at WSVG's LAN War in Kentucky. It was his biggest victory to date.
I just want to make my father proud, which I think I might have accomplished today, but he didn't actually say it yet, so we'll see what happens.
I watched him work with sponsors that didn't give him very much money, and I watched him toil through all of that.
His dad is managing him now, and maybe he's getting some pressure from him.
He's doing all his marketing, and he's pushing him.
He still has that pressure. Is my dad proud? Is my dad not proud?
Earlier that month, Rafik was picked up by a gaming team called Tech9.
Being in a team such as Tech9 just means that you get backing. They take care of you. You get to eat and have a place to stay.
Just 2 months later, he was kicked off the team. Tech9's statement said that Rafik did not fit Tech9.
Very often you see players who they represent one brand, and after 2 months they leave it. It's because some promises were not fulfilled.
Have you experienced a fair amount of racism within this industry?
Yeah, ever since I started. There's a lot of racial slurs being thrown around, especially when they know you're a black gamer. It's almost like they have to do it. At tournaments, in person, there's a lot less, but it still exists. Some people are aware of it. They're doing it on purpose, maybe to upset you or whatever. And then on the flip side, some people do it and they don't even think there's a problem with it.
Blacks in government is a joke to me, maybe not to Rafik, but nothing beyond that. That's about as racist as it gets.
I mean, seriously, blacks in government, that's not going to get you responses.
And there's not a lot of blacks. You're kind of in their circle. So when they do it, it's kind of you're just supposed to accept it. Basically it's if you don't accept it, then you're basically not gonna have any friends in the gaming. So I don't know. There's a lot of racism in the gaming. The first thing they say to you is a racial slur, and you're like, okay, that's pretty much it. So you just you learn to deal with it.
There aren't any other black PC gamers that are good. And he's always been the underdog, and he still is. I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere and started winning.
It's just motivation to play harder, to play better.
Sporting events are usually followed by a celebration, and gaming is no exception. Unsupervised and far from home, gamers party in hotels all around the world.
This is the last day of the tournament. All gamers are really professional, but when it comes to the last day...
You're going to have to finish first.
The last day of the event is usually the booze day. Sunday is the booze day in gaming.
All the gamers party. It's like a tradition. After every event, there's always a party after the finals.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of partying that's going on.
Well, it fascinates me that all these mothers, families let these kids go by themselves to these places. I mean, it's obviously pretty well disciplined. They're not getting in trouble. They're not...
This is what we would call a really good group of kids.
tournament's over. It's time to get trash.
This is the pro gamer.
This kid's underage, though. You can,
What is up, man? CPL 2006.
That's CPL 2006.
Damn it.
Hi.
I assume everyone to be drinking, everyone to be smoking, and
just people getting, you know, just too drunk and not being able to make it.
so what they did was they both stripped down naked and ran around the whole event. So, I mean, and everyone was pissed drunk, and yeah, so that was pretty fun.
They're really, really crazy. Really crazy. You wouldn't imagine.
What's going on here?
Alcohol and drugs soon.
Drugs?
I would lie if I said that there is everyone is absolutely pristine at those events.
They stole a cart from the hotel and they brought in this penis helmet. It's this helmet with 3 penises on it, and they would just ride down the hallways and start screaming and knocking on doors, and I mean, this is like every event. This is normal.
There are many women that are relatively famous for, let's say, how extremely friendly and benevolent they are and towards the opposite sex if they're gamers.
Jared, just get in the fucking sauna.
I can't get in there. This player named Carnage got so drunk that he pissed on his new XPS laptop.
Fucking pissed on my laptop and shit.
And fried it completely.
About a couple events ago, yeah.
1 event ago.
1 minute ago?
And it was amazing.
This stupid motherfucker in the fucking glasses put some shit on my drink. I feel alright now. What did you put in your drink? Some Xanax, part 2. I drank a lot and he popped I popped the Xanax, drank about the double load I drank before, and I ended up pissing on my shit.
Mixing alcohol and prescription drugs can have an increased sedative effect. It's an extreme form of relaxation for an equally extreme lifestyle.
I played so much right when I started. My hands cramped up every day. I mean, my life was over. I mean, days went by like it was nothing.
I played up to 8 hours a day or more.
As much as 12 hours a day playing.
Most gamers, you'll find very addictive personalities.
12 hours in a row without quitting, without getting up from a chair.
I'll like see the game anytime I close my eyes, just in thought, because it's so...
I mean, I don't have that type. It's not that severe. But I mean, I'm addicted to Quake.
Especially when you get that high and you're on that you know, you just keep killing and killing. It like gives you this extra boost, you feel like, and you kill more and better, and it's awesome.
When I first started playing, I was playing probably about 12 to 14 hours a day. I guess I could say I'm obsessed because I played a lot more than most people do. In that respect, the majority of the people don't play it as much as I do, so I consider myself obsessed with it.
And it's addictive. It's just addictive. It has everything that gambling does times like 5.
I've read in the newspaper about players who played World of Warcraft, EverQuest on hours, days on end, ignored their jobs, people who've committed suicide because they got so depressed in a video game, things like that.
They're playing for 36 hours straight and then end up dying because they haven't eaten or slept.
Most people don't live as long as 50 when you're playing this game. You have a heart attack and die.
People stay up for 24 to 48 hours playing straight, and they don't eat and they don't drink, and then they end up having heart failure or stroke or heart attack. There's been a couple stories in America about this.
With intense pressure from sponsors and teams to win, some players seek an advantage besides long hours of practice. The competition is staggering, and when everyone is striving for the top spot, natural talent isn't always enough.
I'd imagine that, there are people who, do use performance-enhancing drugs. I mean, like, if people use, ADD medicine to help themselves study, then certainly there are some drugs, like, similar drugs that could help you concentrate better in a game like this.